very, 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 very small, which is why the apparatus is so precise and set up in that way. Also why it's very hard to measure it as accurately as we would like. You can't just debunk it by saying, well, the mountain should attract air. It does. We just don't have the apparatus to measure it.
Define gravity.
Gravity is an attractive force between masses created by the curvature of space-time.
Nope. Sorry, that's false.
The
Yeah, everybody, what's up? Thank you for coming. What's going on? I hope you're all doing well. We do have Sovereign Soul and PJ Cruikshank in the house. How you guys doing?
All good, all good. Oh, Sovereign Soul just been.
He's like being integrated into a map or something.
Yeah, he's like merging, he's amalgamated with the map. So is the map.
So it's good to see you guys here. Glad you could make it. Tonight's going to be us reviewing the after show of the debate last night, because on Matters now they do after shows to review what the debate was about, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what they say. You guys agree?
Mm, absolutely.
Especially because they have Ozian on there.
I think I caught like 2 minutes of it and then got physically ill and had to leave. So
I do like the setup, though. I must say that Max dude or whatever isn't bad. He tries to stay neutral that he can. Obviously, he's a glober, so that's not going to be possible, but he tries his best.
So Ozion challenged you last night to a debate on biblical cosmology, was it? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice.
Oh, I would love that. The guy literally, he really thinks he has something when it comes to naturalism. Ouch. Yeah. And he's very, very, how can I put it? He's very confident that I will have no foot to stand on with that.
Yep.
That's sad. And then I'm challenged again as well to go on debatism by Jesse Kozlowski. Wants to debate surveying.
Oh, okay.
awesome.
Mm.
Awesome.
That can be an interesting debate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, what did you guys think of the short I put up?
That was cool. I like that.
That was literally him last night.
Yeah.
That was literally him this morning, trying to catch popcorn all over the place, and he just put the lid on.
Yeah. It's the same every time. It was the same with same last time he debated you. He just does the same things every time. No, I'm not answering that. Don't need to answer that. No. Yeah, I didn't say gravity is a force. I says it creates a force. I didn't. No, you know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. But I love.
We all heard you, bro. We all heard what you said. You can't go. You can't take it back now. You can't unsay it.
Yeah.
But I love how he says no. That's why I loved the Everest thing, because they're always, you go up to Mount Everest, there's less gas pressure up there, so that's that means gas pressure gradient. It's like, okay, so Everest is part of the Earth mass now, is it? So is there attraction of gases? Why is there no gas attracted to Mount Everest? Because it's part of Earth's mass.
It should be. It should be uniform. There should be a 14.7 psi going
Right
all the
across.
way up the mountain. All the way up the mountain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It don't make no
This
sense.
is how idiotic the people are. And then he concedes without realizing it by saying, yeah, no, there is a attraction of gas there, but we don't have the apparatus to be able to measure it. So therefore, it's not empirical evidence then.
Exactly. If you can't measure it, how can it be empirical? Wow.
What's another thing too? They always want to talk about their pressure gradient. Is there another type of gradient that you can think of that changes with altitude? Anybody? Like maybe temperature?
Yeah.
Maybe humidity? Are there some other factors involved there? Oh, I think there are.
It's insane. Yeah, there's so many things that they ignore for their belief system.
They always want us one step answer solution to it. And it's not. There's a combination of things with everything. It's never just one thing.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I'm just going to quickly say hi to everybody in the chat quickly. Vicky, good to see you. Michael Korn, what's up? Lev Kung Fu, always glad to have you in. Lumpy Gas, great to have you in, mate. PJ Cruikshank. Geo, what's up? One Mind, One Spirit, glad to have you in. Territ, great to have you here, Bait. Philly Cheese, good to see you. Spuddy, he challenges me to 50 straight push-ups, no stopping. I can do that, but try and do it with form. That's another story.
Mm.
Anybody can do unlimited amounts of fake push-ups, but do it with form.
See,
That's
Vicky,
when it's
Vicky's gone Americanized. She started to call Craig, because that's. I think she hears it all the time, so she started calling it that way. And I think she equated to Greg's bakery, because he's flaky.
Jeff Gassett, what's up? DJ D, what's up? Space Miner, hello, glad to have you. And D'Angelo, haven't seen you in a while, glad to have you. Gary White Benga, glad to have you guys. Okay, so that's everybody in here. So this is the Max guy we're talking about. He's the host for Matters Now, or whatever. I've always heard of this Matters Now thing, but I've never watched it really. But after just listening to maybe the first 20 minutes, I think, of this after show today, I thought, okay, I like the setup. And I subscribed and stuff, and we'll see what happens. But I saw Ozin was on there. Wow. And Ozin doesn't like me, so.
He doesn't.
That's
well, how can he? I mean, look at the whooping he got last time.
Exactly.
Do you think these guys are going to be honest, though? That's the thing I want to know. Do you think they're going to be honest?
They might have the words to cover it, when they're getting whooped, but you could see it in their face. You know what I mean? Like Todd says, FTFE, Craig had so many tells. He'd love to play him at poker.
Dude, he was twitching and rocking like an Autist kid at an Iron Maiden concert. For real, man.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I find it very ironic. The whole night he was just saying I was interrupting him, but he literally started off interrupting me when we started debating.
Oh, I know.
And then Hawkins said, "Oh, I thought Flatzoid's prediction was that he was just going to start interrupting all the time." And I was like, "Yeah," and that came true. So what now?
It's insane. But yeah, the one thing they have to get right, though, MDD guys, is Ryan. I know you're a baller, mate, but stop being so biased. He is biased, unfortunately. Like I said, I like Ryan and all, but his biasness does get a hold of him sometimes. He had to literally run in to save Craig a few times.
Yeah, he's not a good mod. He's not. He might be a decent enough guy, but he's not a good moderator.
So yeah, that was a bit bad. I mean, how is it that I'm busy giving my statement? He stops me and says I'm not supposed to talk and mutes me and gives it to Craig while I'm making my statement.
That was bullshit.
So yeah, but I did call him out on it.
Yeah.
I was glad you did. He needed calling out. I've seen him do that a bunch of times with other people too. And it's like, wait a minute. You're not supposed to have a side, bro. You're supposed to just sit there and make sure people don't overtalk like Craig is doing. They don't interrupt like Craig is doing. They stay on the topic of the question that was asked, unlike what Craig was doing. I mean, this is what your job as a moderator. It's not just supposed to be so you sit there and play with your pecker while the other people talk, you know?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did I ask him a question to answer and he just said, yeah, I know.
He doesn't need to answer that. He's above questions.
And then he says, no, I must answer it. But I asked him the question.
Exactly.
It was for a specific reason.
Well, with me, he went on
I actually asked those questions.
He went on for 15 minutes about, I know the IV. You don't know the IV. I know the IV so much that I put it in my chat. I know the IV, but you don't know the IV. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, you dumbass, in the time that it took you to say all that and supposedly type it in your chat, you could have just said it.
Could have said it, yeah.
It's all just games. But then again as well, that IV is not for what you guys are claiming the cause to be.
Right.
You guys are claiming gravity's the cause for acceleration. So it's not gravity if you say the mass's distance. So a distance of mass is not gravity. It's not hard to understand. But what can we say? Anyway, guys, good to see you all. Please hit the like, share the show. Really appreciate you all. You guys are awesome stuff. Heads up, next weekend, or the weekend is coming now, we invited to some friends to go and stay by their lodge and stuff for the long weekend.
Oh, nice.
So I'm not going to be streaming from Thursday. So Wednesday night I'll still stream, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 nights I won't be streaming. I'll be back Sunday.
Fair play. You need some time off.
We're going away to a lodge. Very excited.
That sounds cool, man.
You need some time off anyway, dude. You know what I mean? You do a lot of hours.
Yeah, that marathon wake-a-thon you had yesterday, man, that's pushing the limit, bro. But that shows dedication. That shows dedication right there.
Let's put it this way. After I went to bed 5:30 this morning, 6:30, my son wakes me up. He wants coffee. So I get up, make him coffee, and then get back to bed. And then around 8 o'clock, I had to wake up again. And then in the day, I had maybe another hour nap somewhere.
Oh, man.
That was about it. But I'm used to a little sleep, so it's not that bad. Oh,
Vicky did it as well. She had the 20, and then after the debate, she went to your son's shop for a little bit until Luch was there, and then Luch was there for a little bit. She was like, "I'm off," and she went to bed.
How did your son's after show go? His live show go there.
Oh, he did pretty good on that. He did pretty good. A lot of good information. Lou was in there and he's saying, well, no, you're free to go anywhere that you want to. I said, no, you're not. How are you free to go anywhere you want to? Try to go to another country without getting permission. Try to go somewhere without using an approved passport. That's asking permission, my friend. You're not free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mere fact you need a passport, you need identification, you need a visa.
Exactly.
Means you literally have to pay to leave your own country to move to go somewhere to visit. That's not freedom. Yeah. That's the sad truth.
All that crap is just nothing more than like the tag you see on a cow's ear at the farm. Okay, they're keeping track of you. That's all they want to do. That's it. They have to keep account of their tax chattel and where they're at all times. This is how they operate, man. And you're not going to get out of it unless you really work to get out of it. It's a tangled mess.
Sorry, my bad, Vicky. She said she watched it all. She just ended up turning the comments off so she couldn't see him.
Well, Lou does have that effect on people. So
he does.
Okay, so guys, you ready to start the after show? And we can see what they're going to say.
Let's do it.
I'm going to put it speed a bit faster, obviously, because probably they're going to talk a whole bunch of nonsense.
Oh, this is Max, and this is Matters Now, where your voice matters. Today we had a pretty awesome debate with Flatzoid and...
This guy sounds Italian to me. I don't know about you guys.
I think sounds what?
Italian.
Italian? I don't know.
Just listen to his voice.
FTFE, Fight the Flat Earth, and we are going to give you the link. So if you want to come on stage, you are more than welcome to do so. Let me get the link and I'll get it pinned over
it's Spanish, but it sounds more I don't know, Italian to me.
Mediterranean anyway.
He's got that hair at the end, you know, that hair.
Yeah, a bit Mediterranean anyway.
Yeah. I don't know why he puts this background on though, because he's obviously on a big green screen. But don't you think you could choose a nicer background though? It's like trying to say, hey, I got a music studio.
And
I wish I
Just 1 second. That was pretty awesome. And we already have Oz. Hey.
Oz.
Hello. I just finished an after show. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's a Saturday night. Everything is good. I saw that. I sent the message and then you sent one right after that.
I know. I was kidding. I saw it come up. I was like, well, I didn't send that. So I realized. I know it was you, of course.
Yeah.
Brian Dose of Reality. He said, "Yo, Flaps, Glaffs, and who the hell is this Smurf?"
Let's put it on screen. There we go. Hey, Brian, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. Italianish. But yeah. Yeah, guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sovereign Soul Sun's channel, do so. The link is in. Thanks, Vicky. I appreciate it. I'm from Uruguay. Oh, Max is in, dude. Hey, Max, shout out to you. Because I was wondering, it's like you sound Italian. But yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with you sometime. It was just a bit hectic this morning. I was awake for a long time. But if you want to come in and chat, more than happy. The link is above there in the link to the description, and you can come in and chat, and we can hear what your thoughts are as well. Because I know you more or less leave the other people to make the thoughts. So yeah, good to see you, Max, in the house.
Billy, welcome back.
Hey.
How did you like the debate? I find it really entertaining, honestly.
Well, this part was kind of annoying having this.
Yeah.
I'm using my it's kind of embarrassing if you don't even know how to do lighting properly. I mean, if you're going to be on a professional debate or if you want to look professional.
I think he's trying to talk about me here. Yeah, guys, unfortunately, I don't have professional lighting at the moment, but I mean, that will come.
Oh, Flats,
I'm
he's
not
saying
really caring about professional lighting at the moment, am I?
He's saying that's his office.
Yeah. Hey, Brian Schuker. And Glenn, good to see you, man. But like I said, I'm not really worrying about lighting at the moment because, hey, this is more me.
Yeah,
I can put my green screen up again, do the lighting, but that's just too much of a hassle.
that's right.
I've just figured out I stream every night. I'm just being me. I'm just being transparent.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
that's what I do.
But it's good to see you guys. And yeah, I'm definitely not going to also go up and pay for a whole bunch of lighting and all that now. If I had like a proper studio in a room, maybe different story. But because I have my studio here in the dining room, which is actually very great, by the way, loving this. It's much easier. But
yeah, a bit different.
oh, he says it's his office studio. But he's a DJ producer. Oh, that's awesome.
So it's actually real.
Sorry, he took a photo. Okay. What music do you do, Max?
Right, got you.
Okay, cool. Shot, Max. He said he'll join when he's done. Then I'll ask him what kind of music he does. Should be interesting. Okay, let's carry on.
Yeah, they're used to doing voice debates, like with the mute button, so they can mute her. That's why he keeps interrupting people, because he's used to muting them.
And I don't know what's going on with the Zoom, but it usually happens that someone gets priority. So when that person speaks, the Zoom automatically kind of mutes the other one. And it happens like indistinctively. Someone always gets the priority, and it's a...
Yeah, I think it's the gateway. Because that was definitely what was happening last night. I'm talking, and then all of a sudden, Greg's like, I'm interrupting. I'm like, dude, you stop talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you stop talking, then I'm going to respond. And then I'm interrupting and being a childish git and saying, oh, it's the third time you interrupted me. Or 45th time. I'm going to start over my whole spiel and give my speech on why I'm starting over.
Dude, that's why I think that streamline that I've come up with would work fantastic. Because that guy can sit over there and talk all he freaking wants to while you're talking. Nobody's going to hear him until you finish. And then the host puts you on mute and unmutes them. That's the only way you're going to stop that shit.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Dillian? Good to see you, man. Tech House, that's quite cool. Tech House is almost like EDM, I think. Like a mixture of EDM and just techno.
If you have XM radio, which I have that in my Jeep and in my house, I accidentally found this channel that is great for when you're driving, man. It's called The Chill. And oh my God, it's just all.
Oh, it's like chill house music.
Yeah, man. And it's really nice. Yeah. It's not real rough. It's smooth, and it just like everything seems to fit with your trip,
A lot of the times I want to chill as well, just relax. I also download some chill house music, and then I work with chill house music. It's either that or mostly I listen to debates and stuff. That's practically what I do in my day while I'm working. I got my earphones in, I'm listening to debates or some music.
It can be on either side. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe it's Zoom.
I noticed that with Fight the Flat Earth Craig. I think he might have auto ducking on his end, so he doesn't drown other people out. I don't know. Like it's always like every time he debates, like he gets squelched out. Maybe he has auto ducking turned on for his microphone in his streaming software or something. Like I've done that for music and stuff. So when I talk on the mic, it drowns out my game. My camera just turned off.
Yeah,
Why? I
froze.
don't know.
I
Whatever.
wonder when they're gonna actually start talking about the debate, though. Should maybe just forward a bit to see
Who do you
who
think
won
won
the debate? There we go. We'll start here, guys.
the debate tonight, Brenda?
Brenda.
Oh God.
Can you hear me? Oh, now you're roboting. I'm sorry. Maybe try refreshing the page and seeing if that works it out.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
In the meantime, let's quickly discuss the openings. Let's start with Flatman B this time. What did you think about Flatzoid's opening?
Yeah, good. I think they both had good openings for both of their arguments.
All right. Anything you liked in particular? Anything you want to highlight?
I don't think anything special stood out. Not to be rude.
No problem, man. You know, it's fine. We always ask for everyone's opinion, and everyone's opinion is respected, so it's fine.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have Brenda back. Let's try the sound.
The sound better now?
Yes, perfect.
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
see, I think what happens when I click on a link from
Brenda always has to give a story. Yes, you got it working. You don't have to try and explain why you got it working or how or what you think the issue was.
Always starts off from when she was born.
Exactly. The day I found out a shoe is a phenomena. It's like really. But what I want to say, yeah, I like the thing that he's asking, the question. He's asking separately, what did you think of the opening for my opening? And then what do you think of the opening for Craig? Which I like that. That's a good way to try to keep it neutral. What did you guys think of my very short, to the point opening?
Exactly that, to the point, concise, and
Yep.
perfect. Absolutely.
Yep. You just bailed a big rock of kryptonite onto his ass, and he had all the rest of the time to struggle to get out from underneath it. That's why I say this gas pressure and gravity is their kryptonite, man. It absolutely is.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely the best too.
But that's why I just made it quick. I mean, I could have given a 10-minute introduction on who's who and that, but then you just get lost. So I just thought, no, let me do it. Just a quick, this is what I want to talk about tonight. This is the issues I see from Craig specifically. So let's get it addressed. As simple as that. And I think that's getting into it. And because I know him, he loves to play semantical games. So it's buying more time to actually maybe get an answer out of him. And guess what? We didn't really get answers other than him, without realizing, conceding he can't use gravity for anything. So every time he's going to bring up Mount Everest, guys, you bring up this debate and you say, but even you conceded there's no measurement of attraction of gases to the mass of Mount Everest, which is Earth's mass. Oh, wow.
Like the mountain's separate from the earth or something.
That's the whole point. That's why when I brought up the symbolism of a container ship and you put containers on and the mass increases, and he says, yes, it attracts it more. So Mount Everest should attract gas to it.
Yeah.
There's no measurement of Mount Everest attracting gas to it at all.
Well, there's no measurement of anything attracting gas to it.
Right.
Exactly. Gas isn't attracted to anything.
And not itself either. It can't just attract to itself and form into a gob and then crush in on itself. That's stupid. That's out of a cartoon.
Yeah. And then you get the straw man. Oh, but plasma. Yeah, but plasma is a different phase.
Exactly.
You have to get to the first phase of collecting a volume of gas. And a volume of gas is never going to be present unless it's contained. That's just all there is to it.
Exactly.
Right.
from the YouTube on mobile, and then when I
Okay, we don't care.
Yeah,
but either
now
way,
you're sounding crisp.
great. So, well, yeah, I think Craig won in that he showed that Flatzoid didn't really meet the obligations of demonstrating any evidence for the flat Earth.
Wow. Sorry, who was the only one bringing up demonstrations the whole evening?
Yeah, exactly. You.
Of course, you gotta, this is also coming from somebody who thinks that if they tuck their wiener, they're a girl. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what? This is a challenge for any Glober. Go through the debate and give me a timestamp where Craig had one demonstrate presented, please.
No, none at all.
Oh, he had hypotheticals about Mount Everest and a hypothetical about air having mass that's attracted to the mass of the Earth. And those are all really nice hypotheses, but you gave absolutely no demonstration of a downward acceleration of air due to gravity at all. You failed to even entertain the idea of Dalton's law, temperature variations that take place on gases, what it does to different densities of gas. Do they all react the same to the same temperature? No, they don't. In fact, that little toy you hooked me up with, that gas pressure thing, man, I've been playing with that. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. And it's still weird. The guy still hasn't presented to me any gas law that takes gravity into account. And yes, in the after show, we went through atmospheric so-called law. It's a real laugh, guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Tyler, welcome to the stage. I hope you're having a good evening. Let me ask you the first question, since you're just joining. Who do you think won the debate tonight? And if you think it's not fair, a fair question, you can answer whatever you're more comfortable with.
Oh, sure. Thanks for having me. I wasn't going to come on, but then I changed my mind because there was one thing that I wanted to discuss. But in accordance with your question, it was a fascinating debate because I feel like I guess his name is Craig, FTFE. He kind of came in with a strategy of responding to Flatzoid in a way that kind of, I guess, hurt his position. like every time he was asked, like, do you know something, and he would say yes, why don't you explain it? It just opened up Flatzoid to kind of say, like, okay, well, you know, like he was playing like this weird game, and I feel like it worked against him. And it was just odd. Like, obviously the Earth is a globe, but I feel like
I was going to
I agree with him. It did hurt Craig.
You
Because it
did?
just showed him to be dishonest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He was wasting our time.
That's his whole thing. He filibusters. He filibusters. Because if you take out all the crap and just nonsense that he's adding about, you don't know anything, and blah, 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 and then look for the substance in the answer, it's not there. It's gone. I've learned how to filter that shit out. I'm listening for the answer. All the rest of that stuff is just pig squealing to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's if he was honest, he would have just answered like a normal person. But he kept on doing what he did with you as well. No, you tell me.
Okay. He's above answering questions, remember?
Yeah. I mean, when you're in a debate and someone asks you a question in a debate, okay, that's usually called conversation.
Yep.
So when you're conversing with someone and they ask you a question, to be a grown-up, you actually answer the question. You don't just say, no, you tell me.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm sorry, I'm not really familiar with that. Can you explain it to me?
Yeah,
you know,
he
but
just
he can't do
know.
that. His ego's too freaking big. He can't do that. That's just like it was Sean with his apology. Was that really an apology? No. I said something wrong and it's your fault. That's what happened right there.
That's called narcissism.
Well, it's like
it's
when a guy...
It's my fault. Let's put it. It's your fault because I was wrong. It's your fault that I didn't pay attention. It's your fault that I tripled down after you told me 3 times he's talking about the object.
Right. Right. It's kind of like the abusive husband that looks at the wife and says, see, look what you've made me do.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy. But it's just narcissism. That's all.
To ask
They've
that
done
a
very
little
well
bit
tonight.
further down the road, but I'll save that that observation for a little bit later, and we can discuss it in detail, and we can go around, ask everyone what they thought of that, because I made a note of exactly that. So thank you for bringing it up. And let's continue. I'm going to do the bottom row, and then the top row. Since I have you here, Tyler, what did you think about Flatzoid's opening?
It was pretty standard. So I'm probably going to jump off. I just wanted to say one thing before I did. There's all this nonsense about the flying spaghetti monster not existing. Clearly, these people don't own a 3D printer. I have a 3D printer. It's operating right now. I've seen the flying spaghetti monster in my home on my 3D print bed. It's very real. There's many videos about the flying spaghetti monster on the internet. Stop putting down the flying spaghetti monster. Okay, we can't just discard the reality of flying spaghetti monster. If you don't believe me, get a 3D printer yourself, or look up flying spaghetti monster 3D printer videos. They're there. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
Okay, so his comment was it's pretty standard. I would agree it's pretty standard because it's standard arguments we need to bring up because it never gets answered. Do you think we would still ask the same questions if they were answered by now?
No.
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 I mean,
the way I work is somebody's asked me something like here in the real world, and then they turn around and ask me the same thing again. I'd look at them like something's wrong with them. I'm like, I just told you, man.
Yep.
Why are you asking me something I just told you already? You think my answer is going to be different? I don't get that. Yeah. Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, it's like just be a grown-up, converse with the person properly, you know, and we might get somewhere. Because if we actually brought up a question and you actually just showed us wrong, that would be the end of the question. Then it's over. Because the globe makes claims about these specific questions, that's the reason we ask them.
Yep.
It's because these are specific claims that they make. And there's no evidence for them. It would be dishonest of us not to ask it where's the evidence?
Right. Oh, and this spaghetti monster thing that they're always coming up with. I'll tell you what, that is so childish, and it really shows that you have a deep hatred for something you doesn't even believe exists. How can that be? How could you have such a deep hatred for something that you don't even think exists? To the point where you have to mock and all this other shit. It's obviously on your mind. So what's really going on in there?
Exactly.
Oh, you can't see me now. You can't see me.
Yeah, it's like people blame God for things like, oh, why did you let my dad die? Why did you let my kid die or whatever?
But they don't believe God
in him.
exists.
Yeah. Well, who are you being angry at if you don't believe in him, if he doesn't exist?
Doesn't make sense.
No, exactly.
It's illogical. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to hand it over to Billy. What did you think about Flatzoid's opening statements?
Well, it was definitely short, and he mainly just was challenging Craig to demonstrate. So he wanted Craig to demonstrate things that was going to take a lot of time to demonstrate in a short amount of time. But it was like, okay.
Yeah, good.
All right. Oz?
Oh. I think he nailed it there. That was quite good, Billy. Thank you. Because time is limited.
You're muted.
I'm not muted. I just messing with you now.
That was good.
So,
That was
I was muted because my tablet was going off. I reinstalled Streamlabs.
What is with Ozian always having kind of symbolism for Masonic stuff? Every time he changes his background stuff, he's got some kind of Masonic symbolism.
You just answered your own question, Flatzoid.
See, he's got the board, he's got the concentric circle, the globe, everything.
You ever see this guy called Jacob Israel on YouTube?
Uh-huh.
Oh, this guy, he comes out with some truth stuff, really God-based and everything, and biblical. But you look at his entire background behind him, and it is nothing but Masonic. You know, the pillars, everything. He's got everything right there. And I'm like, I see it. Does anybody else seeing this? You know, am I really supposed to buy this? You know, come on. Really bad. But they're talking to each other with that shit. See, it's like, have you ever heard of hobo graffitis? Hobo glyphs?
No.
Hobos used to go around, and it was kind of an underworld, right? And they had like certain symbols they would scratch like on a doorpost or on a fence post or something like that. One would mean, don't try, this guy's violent. This one's an easy mark. Different things like that. And that's how they communicated with one another, as, you know, they're not meeting up. So they going along panhandling for money. And here's a symbol on a doorpost. Oh, this guy's easy, so I can run my game on him. Oh, this guy will come out with a shotgun. I better not try it. You know, so it's the same thing. They're talking to each other with those little symbols back there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Flatzoid's opening argument was not for the flat Earth. It was trying to refutation towards gravity. He said you can't prove. He was saying laws of pressure and stuff
Gas
was
laws.
Gas pressure was a refutation to gravity, which I think in the argument they went over why that was not sufficient.
It doesn't even seem like he's actually listened to what my opening was. If you listen to what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
I mean, the whole crux of their position fundamentally defies these basic gas laws. You got a big ball of gas of hydrogen that turned into a star. How the hell do you get a ball of gas anywhere for any reason?
You know?
Right? You got gas somehow sticking to a globe when we don't have any evidence of air having a downward direction. I don't feel air pushing down on me. I feel the air I displace, but that's it. I'm not feeling anything pushing down on me. There's no column of air over top of me. I mean, their whole thing is full of crap, and it has to, because of this mass attracting mass, which is a load of crap.
Yeah, but I mean, do they understand that if they make a claim of gas is pulled down, and I say we don't observe it, therefore flat Earth, it's me giving evidence why it's a flat Earth.
Yep.
No, Michael, they don't.
Hello.
Michael says, do these clowns understand what's said to them? No, I don't think they do.
Right.
Or the willfully ignorant, and they do, but just decide.
Ozian is woefully ignorant. He chooses to be ignorant about it.
Yeah.
And because laws are isolated claims and they just talk about a specific observation, laws are mathematical formulas that describe
Laws are mathematical. No.
Mathematical.
Laws are nature's observation.
Yeah.
Literally, it's tendency for things to work in nature. That's what a natural law is.
Yeah.
High pressure to low pressure, hot to cold.
Yeah.
You getting old.
Yep.
That's literal nature taking us. That's natural laws. That's not mathematical. You use maths to describe it.
Describe it, but it's not. It's what it is isn't actually made from maths.
No.
No, use math to describe the condition. It doesn't set the condition.
Exactly.
Otherwise, all you'd have to do is change your math, and now it's possible, right? No, they're laws because they're immutable. That's what a law is. It's immutable, just like God's law. It's immutable. Man cannot create law, right? So if it's absolute, that's what a law is.
Yeah, so I mean, if this is all what he's got from this, does he really think he can debate me on naturalism versus biblical Earth? I mean, wow. Because just the fact that he doesn't even know what natural law is already shows he would lose that debate.
Mhm.
They're kinematic equations, if we want to talk about it specifically.
Did I bring up kinematic equations, by the way?
Nope.
Nope.
And explanations for specific observations, and they always hold true. So you can use two laws together to describe things that to describe more complicated concepts, and even Flatzoid has to accept that within his own paradigm. If he doesn't, he can't deal with gas pressures, because even with the laws of gas pressures and stuff, you have to use multiple laws, to describe gas pressure. So he's
that's description. That doesn't change the fact it's a natural law, does it? It doesn't change the fact there's a behavior to these natural laws.
Exactly.
The guy didn't debunk anything now. He's literally just making my point and trying to straw man it by saying, yeah, but you use different laws together. How does that change my argument exactly? I don't know. Last time I checked, temperature changes pressure. Last time I checked, pressure changes pressure. Last time I checked, volume changes pressure.
Yeah.
They're all linked.
Volume and temperature together will increase pressure. You can have combinations of things too. This is what they don't seem to understand. It's like that drawing that you brought up last night. It said this isn't real world because it doesn't work this way, but here's just a little drawing that demonstrates what we're talking about. I'm like,
but I love that. But for that, Roger Lettle, thank you very much for your $2 super chat. He says, yes, prove the globe. Appreciate your super chat, man. You rock. You are awesome, man. But yeah, I'm so glad Michael did give that link for that thing. And what was Craig's argument? Oh, no, but that doesn't take gravity into account. But it's a physics model of gas behavior.
Yep.
Yeah.
So why doesn't it take gravity into account if it's a physics model of gas behavior?
Well, you notice with these gas laws, they've not been able, in the formulas, they've not been able to slip their little g in there like they did with buoyancy and force and all this other. They nowhere to slip it in at. You see, and when they say, well, look, there's a gravity in this buoyancy formula, and it's like, no, that's acceleration. That's not gravity. That's just an observed effect. You can assume whatever you want. You could make it a U, right, for unicorn farts. It doesn't matter as long as the number is the same.
And that's what I tried to explain to him as well, saying it's not gravity, then acceleration. No, but gravity creates the force. A mathematical construct, guys, causes a physical force, in other words, guys. So yeah, that's really weird.
It's like being a little sophist. There's a little bit of sophistry going on there within his own paradigm. So, and so he never made an argument for the flat earth. He's just trying to say there's a container, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't be a globe, right? Because you could still have a globe with a container, like a Dyson sphere.
A Dyson sphere, it would be a donut, not a globe. You ignoramus. How does a Dyson sphere work, guys? We have to be hollow inside. Is he saying Earth is hollow?
Ooh, a lot of people think that.
And by the way, a Dyson sphere works off exactly what we are saying, entropy, low pressure. So high pressure to low pressure, mate. And if you're claiming Earth is contained, how can you claim space travel?
Right.
Oh,
well, just to point out a little note. You notice that they never put a fact check or a Wikipedia thing on anything to do with hollow Earth or donut Earth or anything else like that. But boy, they sure got to snack it onto the flat Earth ones.
Yeah, the archaic idea of flat Earth. Yeah.
They firing them flat guns. That's what they're doing. You're over the target. They don't want you getting the information out.
Exactly.
Don't look at this guy. Look at this other.
They're specifically targeting flat Earth for a reason. Then you know you're in the right ballpark.
It's because it's the truth. You know what I mean? The same as like people target Jesus because he's the truth. You know what I mean? So when people use, it's always Jesus that's used. It's never Buddha or anybody else, is it? It's always Jesus because, yeah, people are offended by the truth, aren't they?
Exactly.
Around the globe, right? So there you go. Globe proven with the Dyson sphere around it, like with pillars holding it up. Flat Earth refuted. Like he never proved that the Earth was flat within his model. We could have magical pillars that are holding up the Dyson.
Sorry. Did we even get to the biblical cosmology part, or were we trying to get Craig just to understand you require containment for gas pressure and a horizon is not physical?
I don't even think the Bible was mentioned last night, not once.
I just said I am a biblical cosmologist. That's what I said.
That's it. It wasn't spoken about, though, was it?
No, because Craig specifically is too shit scared to debate biblical cosmology.
Yeah.
So then Ozian challenged me to it. So I'm more than happy to debate him on it. Because Ozian, if you have to bring up the argument you're bringing up now, dude, you're going to have worse time than Craig had last night with me this morning.
Sphere that have like some magical weight or whatever, because hey, there's no gravity to pull it down anyways. With water above the top of it, that God opened a big magical window to flood the earth in different spots. It even makes more sense, right? Like, open a bunch of windows.
Isn't that the young Earth creationist view? They have a globe
no.
Earth. But...
Young Earth creation, if you don't have that strawman he just pulled up, mate. Not at all. That's literally a misunderstanding of the Hebrew cosmology, by the way. Totally a misunderstanding. Yeah, Glenn Salsh. This is great. Gas doesn't have behavior. Mark Reed, 2023.
Yeah, he did say that, actually. It doesn't have a behavior. He did actually say that.
Hey, wait a minute. He said gas doesn't have behavior?
Mark Reed.
I debated him, and that's what he told me. Gases don't have behavior.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Wow.
Yeah.
He's equating behavior with sentience, I think. Like how a person acts different ways. It's not that at all. Behavior is the way something acts, the way something, I don't know if the only word is behaves. It's just a behavior way.
That's insane. See if I can actually find it for you. Yeah.
It's dynamics, I suppose.
Okay, let's see if I can get up for you. But it was like, wow. This is Mark Reed, guys. Supposed to be the smart, intelligent guy. I was like, when they said I'm going to be debating, I was like so excited. And then I was so disappointed as well because the stuff he brought was retarded.
That's the guy that looks like a mental patient to me. I mean, he does look like he just came out of a, some kind of an institution or something.
Yeah, he reminds you in from Full Metal Jacket. The guy ends up it's him from Full Metal Jacket.
But he's really like a crybaby, though. He cries about every little thing, like a little baby. Just listen to this, though.
No, gas doesn't have a behavior. How does that work? What's the actual process of that working? What is keeping it from equalizing?
Gas behavior. Remember, if you have
no. Gas doesn't have a behavior. No, it just follows natural law.
Are you serious saying that? Gas doesn't have a behavior.
What do you mean? Can you describe that? What behavior are you talking about? No.
God.
Yeah, it was bad. If you guys haven't watched that debate, it is in my channel. Just go and look at Flatzoid versus Mark Reed, and you'll see literally how he says gas doesn't have a behavior. Okay, carry on with the show.
But what they call canopy theory.
Yeah. Well, he's a young Earth creationist who believes in biblical cosmology, but that's the point. So even if we accept his claim about containment and somehow however he explains the pressure gradient, because he never did explain that.
That's a lie.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
did explain it many times.
And it's not a claim. It's a part of a gas law that it must be contained. That's all. Yeah, I don't. Where's the container? I said, well, it's obviously above us, or we'd be crushed or something. So it can't be under us. That would be stupid. So it's apparently above us. Well, I don't see it. Well, I don't see Mount Everest either, but I know it's there.
Exactly. Roger Lidwell, again, a $2 super chat. Thank you. He says, I can't render more validity for a donut. You just have to use Blender, mate. Thank you very much for your super chat. Really appreciate it, man. You rock. But yeah, he's literally trying to straw man what I said because he's an idiot. He doesn't understand the argument.
Right.
Because he doesn't know gas laws, he therefore thinks it's a claim. It's not a claim. I got an idea. Any globe here, when you go and get your gas canister filled, go without the gas canister and ask them to fill it up for you, please.
Yeah. There you go. Just can you give me a basket of propane, please?
Sean Hawkins. Yeah. Give me a basket of propane, or do you not? I want to buy 9 kilograms of gas. Please give me 9 kilograms of gas. Okay, can I see your canister, sir? No, I can have gravity.
Yeah, I'll just use gravity.
Just scoop it up and stick it in my car and take it home.
Just set it there next to the dog. It'll be okay.
It's idiots. But I love how he lied and says, I never said why it doesn't have pressure gradients. I'm going to do what I did on the stream. Dynamic system.
Yep. They don't know what that means. They don't understand what that means because they have such singular logic. They have singular logic. Oh, it's one thing. And it's like, you have a multitude of variables at play here. This is why it's called a dynamic or working system. It's, I don't know why they can't understand that. Okay. A blender that's not turned on is a stagnant system. When you turn the switch on, it's now become dynamic. It's working, it's mixing, it's frothing, it's all kinds of shit going. And depending what speed you put that on, and if you keep changing speeds all the time, you're going to get all kinds of different results each time.
Exactly.
His refutation of how, he still never explained a pressure gradient, but that was his opening argument, was to say
dynamic system.
You can't explain pressure without a container, which is his tired claim. Same thing he did with me about the moon missions. Like, it was easy to refute. Like,
you didn't refute it. You just said, I don't understand gas law, so therefore we went to the moon. That was his argument, literally. That was the verbatim his argument. No, we don't need containment, so therefore we went to the moon.
So Earth's an open system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's him destroying my argument, guys, because he doesn't understand. Okay.
Oh Lord, my dog just let some gas loose from its container. I'll be right back.
Did the sphincter let go?
Oh my.
anyways, so I challenged him to a debate on biblical cosmology, and basically it says the Bible's false because naturalism's true.
He sounds very confident about that. It says the Bible's false and naturalism's true, PJ.
It said what?
He said the Bible's false and naturalism is true.
Okay. Okay. I think creation in the Bible makes more sense than what the Big Bang in evolution says. A lot more sense, it's not even a good idea. Evolution is not even a good paradigm. You know what I mean?
I'm going to make a claim for Ozin right now. If this Bible is false, why is it a historical document?
Yep.
Why can the things in this book be validated by historical scholars Historical scholars that aren't even Christians,
Yeah.
and you tell me it's false.
Why is most of our laws based on the Ten Commandments and stuff? You know what I mean? Why is most of our wisdom from Proverbs and stuff like that, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I have to put this up just for Brian. Hey Tony, what's up, man? But yeah, I'd love to debate. I'm waiting for him to contact me with that debate, naturalism versus biblical cosmology. And shame has he got a thing in for him, because probably the words I'm going to bring up is too difficult for him to understand.
Good luck defeating me in that debate, Flatzoid. You're not
I
even
already did. The fact you literally asking me to debate and you say the Bible's false is already a defeat of your argument.
Yeah.
prepared for that debate, because you're going to have to deal with my paradigm of reality, and you're not prepared, Flatzoid. You're used to those skeptic atheists. You're not used to a naturalist.
Skeptic atheist is a naturalist, literally by definition.
He just said you've got to deal with his paradigm. Exactly. It's your paradigm.
That's
Just your right.
Yeah.
No one else.
So in other words, he's like, you know, when you get a Koran these days, no, you will listen to what I think, how I feel.
Yeah.
Ozian, I can't wait for that debate, mate.
I know more about Dungeons and Dragons than you do. Welcome to my world.
Yeah, so therefore you are master.
Yeah, okay. The dungeon man.
Well, wouldn't he be sort of like more in his home turf? Because I'm sure that he knows biblical issues better than he knows natural science. He doesn't know natural science at all.
Oh, that's why I debated a nuclear physicist this morning, which didn't know natural sciences.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, and this is coming from a person that thinks shoe is a phenomena, guys.
But I would expect that he knows he can verses well.
Okay, I've got to say something. It doesn't take citing verses well for biblical cosmology. Okay?
Yeah.
The biblical cosmology is how what's observed in reality. And the logical deductions made from, you need a creator for everything to exist.
Right.
You have to literally go and prove there's no creator.
Yep.
The onus is on you, not me. I don't even have to bring my Bible to the debate. That's the sad truth. I don't even have to bring a verse into the debate to literally debunk his argument. I can use naturalism to debunk naturalism.
Yeah.
LJ, thank you very much for your $2 super chat, man. You rock. You awesome. It says gravity's racist. Doesn't pull soul smoke down.
Yeah.
How dare you?
It don't. It's blowing all the way. I got to be careful. My wife smells it. She'll be in here smoking it with me. So, come on, gravity, do your job. Pull it to the floor.
It's very selective. Remember, you just go sit next to Mount Everest. That's all you need to do.
Oh yeah, pull it right to the mountain. There'd be a little puff of smoke right there next to the mountain.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, LJ, mate.
That goes your robot a bit near the end.
She says he knows biblical verses better than I do. But that's
I don't know that. I don't know that. But he's more at home.
Yeah.
So she's contradicting herself now. He knows the verses. Now I don't know the verses. Which one is it, Brenda? And I guarantee you, I know the biblical verses better than Ozian. He doesn't even read a Bible. I don't think he even owns one. No. If he does, it just sits on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah. But he has to prove the Bible's true first, which is what I said.
And I can show you many historical documents and historical scholars that literally validate that it's a historical document. If it's an historical document, does that make it true, guys?
Otherwise, it's not history. It's just a story.
Exactly. It's just a story then. Exactly.
Because he has to bring me the first protocell. He has to bring me how he can violate the first law of thermodynamics. He's got so much problems, he doesn't even know how to start. The foundation of his naturalism literally falls apart based on naturalism.
Mm-hmm.
Reality isn't a paradigm. I agree. Thank you very much for your $2 super chat. Roger, you rock. Yep, reality isn't a paradigm. That's exactly, because it's his paradigm, he thinks it's reality. That is just called insanity. That's called delusion.
Tony Whitcomb says, if you go to Street View, if you go to Street View at Building 9 at NASA and then click on the Building 9, you'll end up in the ISS. Well, that's what Sophie's already done.
What does that tell you?
So
Yeah.
good luck. So I said the Bible's false, so biblical cosmology can't be true.
So everyone, if you go
And you know how that's already wrong and showing he's ignorant to this? Bible cosmology is based on Hebrew cosmology. The Bible came after the Torah, mate. So is the Torah wrong now too? Or what about the Tanakh? This guy. He's delusional. He knows nothing about the subject and he's so confident about it. That's called Dunning-Kruger.
I'm going to debate you about something I don't know anything about.
And I'm going to say you know nothing about it, and I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah.
That's overconfidence.
I mean, I think you should at least have some grasp on your opposition's position, some knowledge of it before you just jump into it. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. Well, how are you going to do that if you don't know the first thing about it?
Yep.
How are you going to know when you've defeated a point or not? You don't.
Yep. This reminds me of a video I saw the other day of there's like this little small Mongolian guy fighter, and he's really getting taunted by this. He's like a big dude. He's like making fun of this guy, and he's like, "I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna, you ain't got nothing. Blah blah blah. All big game." And anyway, start off and he starts trying to hit this guy, and he's dodging. The Mongolian fighter literally hits the guy once with a knee on the floor. Yeah. That's what's going to happen here with Oz. Overconfidence is your downfall, mate.
Mm-hmm. Never underestimate your enemy.
Exactly.
Never. That's right out of the Art of War,
Definitely.
Yep. Hey, Illuminati Croissant, good to see you, man. Guys, please hit the likes, share the show. It really, really does help to get the show out to a wider audience, man. You guys are really, really awesome stuff. There we go. Okay.
leave a comment. We want us debating Flatzoid so we can make this happen.
Yes. Anyways.
All right. Next prompt, and I'm going to start on the top row this time. Oz, what did you think about the Globe Earth opening?
So Craig, I mean, he could have gone into more explanations, I think, about how we demonstrated gravity and how that supports a globe model. I think he short-shrifted it because he was doing a lot from memory. I wish he had gone through like more points in that regard, and he more.
Why would be a problem if he's doing it from memory?
Right.
It shouldn't be a problem, should it?
So he's trying to overtly saying he didn't have a script.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what I'm seeing.
It shouldn't matter if he's getting things right, should it? If it's coming out of his head, if he's doing everything right and he's saying the right things, then what does it matter where it's coming from? It just so happens he wasn't saying things right and all that, and he's full of crap. But yeah, what would it matter if he was?
Yeah, exactly. What doesn't matter? But no, his opening was very standard, the same. I make a globe claim and I'm going to say it's empirical, and then when you try rebut it, I'm going to show I don't know how to actually validate it.
Exactly. Wow. Yes. Yep.
Addressed Flatzoid's claim about pressure gradient and went down that argument track and played into his hands. But I think that's okay.
Yeah,
like
played into my hand.
he knew he could own Flatzoid in that with that argument, because that Craig's well informed about that argument because he spent a lot of time debating people on that specific claim about.
How did he own me in that argument? I was running around circles with him.
Yeah, you were.
That's what I'm saying. They see things completely different from how we see them. It's got to be, because if they're being truthful there and that's how they're seeing it, then wow.
I'm telling you, man, it's just like playing chess with a pigeon. The thing will kick all the pieces over, shit on the board, and then strut around like they won.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Wow. Tony Whitcomb, thank you very much for your £10 super chat. You are so awesome, man. Really appreciate it. He says, if the fight goes ahead, the flat earther Tyson is going to flatten Globe Jake. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mike
I
Tyson's
agree.
like Jake Paul. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I think
Tyson's a monster, dude.
he is. I mean, he'll be 58. It's on the 20th of July he fights him, but he'll be 58. I think he can flatten Jake Paul. Easy. But if Jake Paul he's got to be known for beating an old timer, and if he loses to Tyson, he's got to get slayed for losing to an old timer. That's what I mean. So he can't win.
Look, Jake is still good. Don't take it out. Jake,
he's done all right. He doesn't. I don't think he appreciates boxing at all.
No, but when it comes to Tyson, he's got the experience to know what's what.
Yeah,
Jake hasn't got that experience yet, and I mean Tyson, he's a monster, dude. Especially even at his age now. Have you seen him?
Yeah,
Mike Tyson is an animal. Mike Tyson is a flat out animal in the ring. That's all there is to it. This guy gives no shits about human regard whatsoever, man. He gets in there, he's in there to kill. Yeah. That ain't no kidding, man. That was evident when he bit Evander Holyfield's ear off. I mean, I'm taking this to the next level, baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Hey, November. But yeah, I agree.
Jake Paul's definitely got better, but he's not a boxer. He's not a world-class boxer.
Nah.
And he said he was in it now to work up the ranks and become getting champ. Well, you're not doing that by fighting Tyson. That's just a money thing. You know what I mean? You're not getting the world shot because of Tyson now, are you? In the 80s, if you beat Tyson, you got a title shot. Oh, well, you would have been beating him for the title. You know what I mean? But yeah.
About pressure gradients and about gravity and stuff like that. So he was comfortable arguing with there, and I think he's got a lot better. He's gotten really good at like waiting for them to speak and to stop speaking. And you saw him like
constantly interrupted me. What are you talking about? Oh, did we watch the? Was it the same debate, or is he talking about another debate?
I don't know, man.
But
I can see what it was. I know what he's talking about. I saw where you would give him enough rope, let him keep giving enough rope to hang himself with. That's the only instance. But other than that, it was always Craig twitching out like an Otis at an Iron Maiden concert, man, wanting to just jump in and interrupt and then be all, I don't know, this academic authoritative attitude that he's got. Just, I don't know, it pisses me off. But that's all he did was interrupt. Sean Hawkins seems to think that your prediction that that's what he was going to do was wrong. I don't know if Sean saw the same. Were you on two debates at the same time, Flatzoid? I mean,
I don't know. Something I don't know about. Maybe it was a parallel universe debate somewhere.
You know,
because literally I made a prediction and it started off with my prediction coming true.
like his counting numbers. What he was counting was every time he was interrupted.
Yes.
Oh, really? If you actually go count those numbers, it's not close to what they were saying.
Wow.
They just make up shit. You know that?
Yeah.
49 times interrupted. We didn't even have 49 points to get interrupted.
Well, that Ozian dude reminds me of that John Lovett's character that always was telling lies. You know, he's like, you watch him the way he is. Yeah, that's a ticket. That's what it was. Yeah, he just kept interrupting. Yeah, that's what was going on. Everybody saw it, just this gaslighting shit all the time. And he's got that same look on his face.
Yeah, I just want to say, Aaron Armstrong, I got my advanced drivers, dude. I can do racing if I want to. So, yes, I'm a good driver, if that's what you are trying to say. And I've had my license now, 25 years, and I haven't had an accident.
How about that?
What does that tell you?
Sounds like you know what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he took his opening to rebut Flatzoid's rebuttal against the globe model. So there was actually never an argument presented for the flat Earth. And so Flatzoid took his opening to rebut the globe model.
No, my opening was literally, it's flat because we have gas to breathe. It's flat because the horizon's not physical. It's flat because there's no such thing as Earth's rotation. Hello? Those are called flat Earth proofs. Correct, guys? What do we claim? No rotation, which we observe.
Yeah.
No gravity, which we observe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Optical horizons, which we observe.
Yep.
What's so difficult to understand? Those are flat Earth. I didn't bring up the globe in any way. I was literally saying this flat because of this. Unfortunately, because of that, it means it can't be a globe and you have to rebut it because your globe makes specific claims about those things. It's antithesis. Do they know how antithesis works? If I say a floor is flat and they say, no, it's curved, that's an antithesis of a flat Earth, flat floor, isn't it?
Yeah.
So by proxy, by default, it has to be the opposite.
Yep.
But they're too dumb to understand this. Hey, Paco, good to see you, man. And Jolly Man, also good to see you.
And then Craig took the opportunity to rebut the rebuttal to the globe model to support the globe model. So the argument was about the globe model. So I think Craig did a wonderful job in that regard to support that it was a globe. There was never argument presented for the flat Earth.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trust Ozian with anything when I have to say, how did you read this situation with someone?
Wow.
I wouldn't trust the guy with a 10-foot pole with reading situations if that's what he got out of the openings.
You wouldn't want him in your jury, would you?
No, you would think the guy's high or something.
Yeah.
It's like, are you on shrooms, mate?
Mm-hmm.
We're on a different planet. What's going on? What you talking about?
And we've covered this a couple of times in a few other debates where you need to present your case in your opening, and it can get tricky when you don't you kind of address the other one's opening if you go second. But I kind of share your sentiment on that. I'm going to hand it over to Billy. I'm going to get water for just a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, really quick before you start, Billy. I just appeal to the audience live chat. If you have any questions for the panelists, tag at Matters Now and I'll star it, or tag at Ozian if you want to, and I'll star it for the panelists for later, or any particular panelist, tag them and I'll put a star in it, or send a super chat in and we'll ask.
No, it's all right.
Okay, go Billy.
I think Craig did his main argument, or his main part of the opening was about he wanted to talk about that gravity is the container and there is no, he didn't mention the dome until later, a Flatzoid, but him having the biblical cosmology means he believes in the dome and the waters above and the waters below. So I don't but that wasn't what Craig was talking about, but yeah.
Was that even a coherent statement?
No.
Now that was word salad.
Yeah.
That's what you call word salad, because you don't know what the guy's trying to say.
Right.
He said more than anything that made sense. He was talking about the globe Earth opening, and now he's talking about me bringing up a dome later because I believe in the biblical cosmology. That's got nothing to do with Craig's opening.
No, and I don't recall you ever mentioning a dome.
No, I even said in the Q&A, I never said even mentioned firmament or dome or anything.
Right.
We're talking about containment.
Exactly.
His opening was short too, so that's all I wanted to say.
All right, thank you very much. Flatman.
Yo, I thought it was dry and boring and lackluster.
There we go. Thank you.
Short and sweet.
Okay, thank you very much. Brenda?
Is this for Craig's opening?
No.
Yes, Glover.
No, really. You've already done my opening. So you know you have to do the other person's opening too.
Jesus.
Not showing how intelligent Brenda is it?
God. Oh, she's dumb as that thing's dumber than a rock, man. I swear to God. I've talked to appliances with more brains than her.
Absolutely.
I swear to God.
Timothy's asking any jobs in South Africa for Owen that could apply for. Please don't bring him here.
Wow.
The country's already in a state. Please.
Don't bring him to
The thing
Virginia.
is, if he comes here, he's going to get less support here than he gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will literally end up on the street. There, his government at least gives him subsidy. Yeah, he won't get anything.
No. Can you imagine dealing with the electricity crisis?
They'll find him on the street and ask him to give them money, even though he has no money. So don't come to South Africa, Owen. It'll be worse for you.
Where's he at now?
He's in
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Amsterdam.
So he gets subsidy. He gets subsidy from the government to
They've
survive.
got a good benefit system there, yeah.
It's a huge welfare state. Yeah.
So he's really actually sorted where he is.
Don't remember it.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, it happens. When
It was
the
kinda
debate goes
boring.
long, the beginning starts to get fuzzy. But you said it was boring?
Yeah, I think it was kind of boring.
But fair
It was
enough.
it was interesting to hear. Well, what I remember hearing is I didn't have to prepare because I've been dealing with physical injuries, which is true. He does have significant physical injuries, and so I didn't prepare. But I'm going to ding him every time he interrupts me. That's sort of a rhetorical tactic. However, given the history between Craig and Flatzoid, I kind of understand it. I mean, they have history. And so that would be the reason for that.
All right, thank you very much. And
do you think I prepared for it? Because I prepared for a total different debate, by the way. Biblical cosmology.
Yeah.
Biblical Earth was what I prepared for because that was supposed to be the debate.
Yeah, they changed it like at the last minute. You were supposed to be debating somebody else anyway. And then they ended up putting this freakazoid up on there, man.
Yeah, how it was is Nathan, shout out to Pitch Lumen, contact me, asked, will I please fill in for him? Because he has exam to do or something. So I said, fine, I'll be fine. And he says it's on Biblical Earth, and I'd be versing Grayson. Okay? Because Fight the Flat Earth, apparently he doesn't debate Biblical Earth or something. So I said, Grayson, shop. Start my, preparing for the presentation, everything. And then later on, we're going to do the debate. Yeah. Oh, but I don't debate the Biblical Earth because now it's against FTFE. It's like, but my discussion, you guys told me, okay, it's going to be biblical. Now it's not biblical. So then I just left it. I didn't even bother doing a presentation when I knew, okay, it's against Craig. It's against the same stuff as always. Let's just hold him to his claims. And that's what I did.
friend, Coffee Breath, Awesome Artist, welcome to the stage. I hope you're doing great. You're a lot better in not insulting in the comments, and I have to thank you for that. It only took getting scolded
I wonder if
once.
Max is ever going to come in. He did say he's going to come in after the 8th, and I mean, that was like, what, an hour ago?
Yeah.
and you took the message. That is awesome. How are you doing, and what are your opinions on the globe opening?
I'm doing great, and I missed the openings, so.
Oh, no problem. We can get into the rest later. Thank you for being here. Long time no see. I hope you're doing
Get to the
great.
debate.
About that strategy of not answering the questions.
Yeah.
Every time Flatzoid posed a question, Craig refused to answer, kind of.
Kind
So,
of.
what are our thoughts on this?
Kind of. How do you kind of refuse to answer a question?
Right. He didn't kinda, he flat out did.
Yeah, literally hand waved dismiss and said, no, I must answer it.
Yeah.
That's not kinda, that's not answering. I even called him out on it a few times.
He started right out with saying, I don't even have to answer that. I don't even have to go into that. That's not proof of flat earth, blah, 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 or whatever. Trying to scramble out of the gas pressure argument. He does not want that. He tried and he couldn't get out of it. He did that with me, and I wouldn't let him get out of it. He said, okay, well, we're not going to talk about that. So, okay, we're not talking about the Atmos anymore. All right. So how did you get this ball of hydrogen you call the sun to form in a fucking void like that? When does gas ever come together into a ball? It took him right back into it. Different subject, same argument. I'm not letting you get out of that shit, you squirrely looking bastard. That's all there is to it.
So that's how it is. And then at the end of this, like, yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah,
I know.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm going to start with you, Oz.
Craig answered the question. So what happened?
No, he didn't. That's an outright lie. Show me Craig answering questions. That's an outright lie. He said Craig answered the question.
That's what I'm saying. He just slips in shit like that and then just lets it be and then goes on. You know, like, well, Craig did answer questions, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, whoa, 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 hold on a second. You started your whole thing with a flat out obvious lie. And you're just going to gloss it over and go on to the next, whatever your point is. That's a bunch of shit, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, now does that make the rest of his credibility fine? No, now he's just shot his credibility in the foot. But look at, I'm gonna pose a logical question here. Why would they bring up the strategy of not answering questions specifically pointed to Craig from the panel, by the way, if he answered the questions? Is that logically deducible to say, oh, he did answer it, or he's lying that he answered it?
Right. We are talking about a debate that everybody else saw too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you're attempting to rewrite history with your oration, but there's a record of it. So, you know.
Yeah. It was recorded.
The definitions, I mean, sorry.
No, Craig asked the question. No, okay, so what happened? So Craig was being pedantic about answering the questions. And then, Craig, Flatzoid would ask him, do you know what this means? And Craig said, yes, and why don't you explain to me what it is?
No, he would just say yes. And then I would say, okay, explain it. And he says, no, you explain it. Yeah. That's also a lie. He didn't say, yes, why don't you explain it? He just said yes and then kept quiet. Yeah. And then waited for me to ask again. So explain it. And he says, no, you explain it.
Yeah, that's what happened. Here's the way it went. Yeah, that's a ticket.
Why is he being so dishonest? I wonder.
They have to be. Their whole argument is based on deception. What would you expect out of it?
I hope Ozian's watching this, because Ozian, this is literally dishonesty from you, mate.
Yeah.
I hope someone else called him out on that, because lying constantly on stream that way is not a very good look for you. that means he's got an agenda to try and do a character assassination of me because because he knows he doesn't have anything.
He's literally trying to rewrite history right after it happened.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I mean,
still
I feel like
not only fresh in people's minds, right? But as we just pointed out, there's a video record of it. You know, I mean, people can go see it and watch and say, how does this hold what I saw? Does it match what this guy's saying? No.
I mean, I feel like taking the clips that he says this and then going to the timestamp and bringing up the clips and saying, is this exactly what was said?
Right.
I mean, even when I asked Craig to steelman a specific part of the flat earth argument, he couldn't. He changed the steelman to something else. That was funny.
And then Flatzoid would say, well, why don't you explain to me what it is? It's like, I just asked you. So Craig was, I just asked you. Well, I just asked you. But I asked you first. So, but that's the game.
Hey, Max just got in. What's up, man?
Oh, there he is.
Good to see you. We're wondering if you're still going to come in. Like, eating lunch.
Yes, I
Hear
was
us.
having barbecue.
Long
It took
lunch.
too long.
Long lunch.
Yeah, I was having barbecue.
But it's good to have you, man.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So, what are your actual thoughts on the debate, though? Because I know you were asking everybody else the whole time.
Yeah, when I host, I try to not.
Yeah.
I participate a bit more in the open discussion, but when I host, I try to stay a little bit away. I might chime in here and there, but I don't know. It was a good debate. I have fun. I like this debate, and I share some of the opinions with some people, some of the opinions with others. I've had some debates where I've said that, for example, the one I remember is that I gave the win to Witsit, and I have no problem if I see that that debate was better on one side or another. I have no problem in saying that. It doesn't change the facts, and the debates sometimes go well for a side, sometimes they go well for the other side, and it doesn't really matter. It's just one debate. So, but this one, it was fun. I don't know. I think there were a lot of things that were lacking on both sides, but you know, it's how things go, and it's hard. A lot of people don't realize that when you're in the thick of the debate, sometimes it's hard to think on your feet, and you're moving from topic to topic and trying to address what the other one is saying. So I can't really fault anyone on not doing their best in one instance. So it's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone has their own set of views, and I try to be a little bit more diplomatic. Because you know, I'm a moderator in the chat of MDD, and one of the things that we try to talk in the background is, okay, let's try to be neutral. Let's try not to insult people, and try to keep to that ethos of the channel. And we get a lot of slack from people like, oh, you're all biased, but we try not to be. If people saw the amount of messages that we moderate with like hard insults from both sides in every debate, Christians and Muslims, if it's globe and flat earth, atheists and theists, there's always a lot of things that are said that we're not okay. It doesn't matter which side they come from.
Yeah, no, that I understand perfectly because we get it from all sides. That's
perfect.
But like I said, you saw me this morning. I had to call out Ryan on a few times where he was being kind of biased. Like it's my turn to give a statement. I'm busy giving a statement, and then he mutes me so Craig can talk. So yeah, I had to call him out on that. Unfortunately, that was a bit biased.
I mean, yeah, if I understand that you might take it that way, and it's also hard for the moderator to keep track of because they're looking at the chat, they're looking at the messages, they're looking at the super chats. It's a hard thing to do, and try to remain impartial and be equitable to both sides. It can get hard, so I understand that you might feel that you got the short end of the stick on a situation, but they try really hard. Everyone does their best when it comes to moderating, and when there's criticism pointed to them, they always try to make the best out of the situation and improve for the future.
Oh, you should actually be the moderator for Maya and Ozian's debate. That'd be quite cool.
I have no problem. Yeah, I try to be fair with everyone, and in the after show, we always try to have everyone be comfortable in expressing their opinions and try to attack the arguments, not the people. And we had Flatman B. He's a great friend of the show, and it's awesome when he comes on. And we've had Toby, we've had Witsit, and sometimes the debaters come on over to the after show, and it's a good conversation. And people have told us that sometimes they enjoy the after shows more than the debate because it's a kind of a more chill environment, and it's good. We have a lot of fun doing those, and we try to keep it fair for everyone. And we encourage flat earthers if they want to come after a flat earth debate. In this after show, we were encouraging Flat Sabbath to come on.
Oh yeah. I thought he was in chat there.
But he didn't come on. But it's fine. I mean, if he doesn't want to, that's fine either way. But we want to make a channel where everyone is comfortable. And Flatman B, for example, he said, I think Flatzoid crushed it, and then apologized. And I'm always like, dude, you don't have to apologize for your opinion. That's the point of the show. You can give it, and that's it. It's not there's nothing else to it.
Everybody has their own opinions at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so that's what I say. I like your the layout you're giving because you're trying to be as neutral as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So big ups to that.
Thank you.
Guys, do definitely go subscribe to Matters now. I think it can be some exciting discussions to be had. Unfortunately, the times you have you guys after shows is when I should be sleeping.
Oh yeah, time difference is hard.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I enjoyed. I didn't listen to much of it. That's why we're going through it tonight. But I am calling Ozian out on a few things that he did literally get wrong. And
that's fair. I mean, but we can have that. I think that debate would be really interesting. The biblical cosmology debate.
Yeah, I want to do biblical cosmology. But if he contacts me, I'm definitely gonna be doing it. It'll be great.
Does this have like a private chat? Can you send me like a contact address so I can put you in touch with you?
There we go. Private chat.
Perfect.
Shot. But it's good to see you. Okay, we're gonna carry on with the show.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Flatzoid plays is like he's trying to play this gotcha game, but it doesn't. It's like silly. Like Flatzoid's playing a gotcha game and trying to show that you don't understand the concept. If you want, this is the same game that Caleb was trying to play with me in the debate.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to argue for your claim, you state the claim, you give the definitions for the concepts. This is what I do in a debate, and then I'll ask you, do you understand?
Okay, but that's I gotta disagree with her.
Yeah.
Because how a debate works, you're trying to one up the opponent. So if you're going to give your strategy away to the guy by actually giving him the leeway of saying, okay, this is what's going on, you've lost. You've given your ammunition. That's like taking a gun, taking the ammunition out and giving it to the opponent and say, he has the ammunition.
Right.
You see, because that's why you have to say, this is what's going on. Do you know why this is what's going on? So you can get it back to them so they can see logically, okay, this is why. And this is why I asked him over and over, do you know why I'm asking you this? Do you know what the reason for this is? And a few times you would even see me come back and say, yeah, this is the reason why I said this, because afterwards he just never answered it or he conceded without realizing it. That's how a debate works. If you're not going to be charismatic about it and actually, like he says, I got you, then what's the use of the debate?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point is to show, at least for me, is to show the fundamental physical impossibilities of the postulation of a globe Earth right from Jump Street. Yeah. Okay, your heliocentric model. Okay, well, you've got this supposed massive hydrogen that formed together for some reason outside of physical law. There's no reason that this would ever happen. I mean, everything about it. Gas pressure is one of the biggest things about this because, I mean, our whole life is revolves around pressure and pressure differentials. If we didn't, we wouldn't exist. I mean, everything from your blood pressure to the air pressure to the humidity to everything that you experience going up a mountain and feeling that pressure difference. I mean, it's constantly you're feeling this flux. And I don't know why they can't understand that this is a fundamental principle. Without air, we die. That's all there is to it. Now we have to understand why we have air. And this idea of air being pulled to the mass of the earth, that's the most ridiculous thing. There is no downward vector of air. It's never been shown. Pounds per square inch is displacement. It's not coming down on you there's no columns of air. Stop that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's exactly why I brought up the argument with Mount Everest, because he was always bring up Mount Everest for the reason you can go up on top of the mountain, so you have pressure gradients. But you saying Mount Everest is part of the mass of Earth, and if you're claiming that, that means gas is supposed to be attracted sideways to Mount Everest. So in other words, you would have the same pressure right through Mount Everest, and you don't have this. So by default, if you're claiming Everest as an argument for gas pressure attracted by gravity, and it doesn't show what you want, you've debunked your own argument.
Well, in that sense, if you compare the mass of the mountain to the mass of the Earth, it's still a fraction. So even if you get that sideways attraction towards the mountain, the downward attraction is still stronger.
Yeah, but
do you realize that whole postulation would then require, because that mountain is part of the mass of the Earth, right? And so what we would have going on then is you would have a pressure gradient coming off of the mountain. You'd have a big hump in your pressure gradient. You'd go along like this, and then all of a sudden go up like this, and then down like this. You'd have the 14.7 psi on the top of the mountain.
No.
And then you'd have to go. If that's what's going on, yeah.
No,
Absolutely.
because that's what I just said, that the mass of the Earth, if we subtract it, if we consider them independently, the mass of the full Earth is so much greater than the mass of just the mountain that it's almost negligible.
But you see, that's the issue. That's the issue. It's not separate. That's why I asked him in the beginning, is the mass of Mount Everest part of the mass of Earth? And he said yes. Right. Because it's not separate.
Right. But the problem is that all of the mass considered is not on the mountain. It's not in the let's consider it as a triangle. It has its own. If you consider the mountain alone, it has its own mass, and it's so much smaller than the mass of the whole Earth. Then the effect of that sideways attraction towards the mountain would be almost negligible.
Okay, then let's put it this way: the Mount Everest would be considered 175 billion tons or something in mass. Billion, I think it's 175 billion or 175 million mass of Mount Everest. I just want to make sure. Mass of Mount Everest in kilograms: 810 trillion kilograms. Okay.
Okay. Now the mass of the Earth.
Yeah, the mass of the Earth would be much more, obviously. But let's just take Mount Everest for instance. If we separate it. Based on the Cavendish, is Mount Everest mass much, much more than any weight we can put for the Cavendish apparatus?
Yeah, well, of course.
And they claim Cavendish shows attraction of mass.
Yes.
So why is it something that's 810 trillion kilograms can't attract mass?
But no one said it can't. It does. It's just that in comparison to the mass of the Earth below attracting the same air, if we do a tug of war, right, and you are way stronger than me, so it's 10 guys on one side and just me pulling on the other side, then the biggest magnitude of attraction is the one that's going to take. It happens the same if you put a really powerful magnet, a nail, and a small, a less powerful magnet. They're both attracting the nail, but the one that has the more magnetic properties will get the pull on the nail in the end.
Yeah, but that's my whole point. Now, when you take the Cavendish, what is the pull of attraction you have for the Cavendish apparatus compared to if you had to compare it to Mount Everest?
Repeat that, please.
If you had to stick a lead ball, you would agree
Uh-huh.
it's definitely not 810 kilograms.
Yeah.
Next to that, and it shows attraction, you guys claim.
Yeah, but we've done it even the last.
Yeah, but do you see the issue here? You're claiming a little lead ball that, let's say, is 100 kilograms of mass, if you're even lucky, can attract mass, but something that's 810 trillion kilograms can't.
No, I do say that it can. Just that when you consider the other pull of the Earth, then it's negligible because the magnitudes are so different.
Yeah, but the magnitude of pull on the Cavendish is exactly the same.
Yeah, but if you change the masses, then you get different value,
Yeah,
different
exactly.
magnitude.
Exactly. So the greater the mass, the greater the magnitude of attraction.
Yes.
And we don't see any of attraction to Mount Everest.
I don't think that claim is justified, to be honest. Because you know how they find, for example, resources on the Earth with gravimeters?
Gravitometers, yeah. It works on relative density.
No, it works on relative gravity.
Specific gravity is based on relative density.
No, that's the other
in
way
a vacuum
around.
chamber. You're dropping something in a vacuum chamber.
Yeah, it still holds in a vacuum chamber. It still holds the 9.8 meters per second squared.
Yes, the 9.8 meters per second squared is acceleration. It's not gravity.
Yeah, but what causes that acceleration? Because otherwise, you would need to tell me what causes the downward bias on Earth.
I can tell you. There's no such thing as downward bias. The direction is just simply based on the support. It's displacement. So when you're in a vacuum and you're removing the medium, you just took the displacement away. It's something that it can displace. So it's got no support. It's literally got nothing to give friction. So where can it go? It's like trying to say, let me pick up something, and if I don't have a hand to pick it up, won't go up. Duh, because you need something to pick it up. You've picked that ball up. If you've removed something that can support it away, how would you expect it to stay up there?
But why do things fall like straight down unless there's something like wind that would cause the trajectory to move? That's what I was asking. Why is the direction like specifically down?
Because you picked it up.
Yeah, but why don't things fall sideways?
Remember when I said last night, I also said relative, when they asked why down, and I said it's just a relative direction. You get natural laws, like entropy would be a natural law, gas laws would be a natural law. You're getting older, it's natural. Things going down at a relative direction is natural. I don't have to know the mechanism of why it goes down, but I can tell you the reason it does give that is because it has no support. And this is substantiated by every observation made in history, because let's take it in a scientific kind of manner. When you are doing manipulation of independent variable for gravity, what is the independent variable you're manipulating, for instance, in a gravimeter?
No, that's not an experiment. That's just a device that does measurements, so there's no independent variable.
I agree with you there. But when you're using the apparatus, is it based on a postulation? Is it based on a postulation of gravity in a vacuum?
I don't know exactly how they work. I'm not that smart, but I know they work because they find the resources.
Yeah, because it just picks up density deposits. And that's our whole point. When you're in a vacuum and you're removing the medium, that is the manipulation. It's not gravity manipulated. You manipulated the medium. So you can't claim gravity is the cause for an acceleration where the manipulation was the medium removed.
It's everything wants to be equal. Everything wants to equalize. And so something is either relative to the density of the medium that it is in, or it is not. Once it's achieved equilibrium, nothing will happen to it. For instance, if I take a jug of water that's 1 gallon out of the water, out of the ocean, it weighs about 8.5 pounds, right? Now, if I put that jug of water back into the ocean, now what does it weigh?
The same.
Nothing. No, nothing. It's achieved equilibrium. It has achieved equilibrium. If it weighed more, then it would sink. If it weighed less, then it would float. That's the point. So, like with a weather
how
balloon,
weight works. If you have a volume,
just listen. So, if you have a weather balloon, you have a weather balloon. We got helium in it, right?
Yeah.
Does it keep going on and on and on and on forever? Let's suppose it doesn't break. No, it stops. Why does it stop? Because it's achieved relative density equilibrium with the medium.
Because of gravity, yes.
No, gravity has nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does.
No.
Density and buoyancy are byproducts of gravity.
No, they are not. There's no. Show me how they are a byproduct of gravity.
Because otherwise, that's when we're talking about weight. Weight is mass times the acceleration. So mass times gravity. That's a constant acceleration. We are.
No, that's acceleration.
I gotta stop you there. Yeah.
But not you assume gravity. You're talking about an observed effect.
No, but that's a strawman because in the globe model, gravity is not assumed. We have gravity is confirmed.
No, it's not. Where is it confirmed?
So can we just quickly
it's in the Cavendish.
I just want to quickly read out the super chat quickly. Roger Level, thank you very much for your $2 super chat. Some say electrostatics are the constant.
Oh, no.
Whitted and Co. They do say electrostatics.
Yes,
is the
and they're
reason for
so wrong about that. Can I address this? So if gravity was electrostatics, at the very least, if you put a mass inside a Faraday cage, at the very least, you would be able to affect the magnitude of that value. And I brought this up with Whitted in one of the after shows, and he said, well, Faraday cages are not perfect. And I agreed, yes, but at the very least, even though they're not perfect, at the very, very least, you would have less magnitude of gravity if it was electrostatics, and that just doesn't happen. If you put something in a Faraday cage and you dropped it, it still retains 9.8 meters per second squared.
All right, so think of it, it's like this, right? There is an electrical potential that increases with altitude. We know this, but it's not the singular cause. You guys are always looking for a singular cause. It's all buoyancy and density sorts it out. Static is all that's what determines direction. Okay, that sets the condition. Buoyancy and density sorts it out. Okay. There's this Cavendish. So you're telling me that gravity is distance?
No.
Well, that was the IV. You moved the distance. You changed the distance of the masses. So distance is gravity.
No, the distance is the variable because the closer you are, you get more attraction.
So it's not the independent. So it's distance. Distance is the independent variable that causes things to attract to one another.
Yeah.
That's what you're claiming, not gravity.
No.
Where's gravity at?
Mass is the variable.
Well, you didn't change the mass. You just changed the distance. So you said you changed the distance.
Yeah, because gravity is as you move away from the object, that pull that the mass has, that pull is lower, and you can change the distance to measure the difference in the pull with the torsion bars.
Okay. You can see what I got on screen here, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just say this is a container. and we got some water, and we got a ball.
Uh-huh.
You would agree that the ball is displacing surface, so it's displacement, so it can float on the water, which you would call buoyancy.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to explain it to you and say, remember, buoyancy is literally based on Archimedes' principle that came 1,900 years before gravity was even postulated as a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Archimedes' principle is only about displacement. You don't need G, you don't need gravity to make displacement work. They had ships and things working on it perfectly.
I would push back against you because, yeah, you do need the gravity to that displacement. The fact that he didn't know the concept doesn't mean that gravity is acting upon that ball and upon that water also.
That's the whole point. It's just displacement. You guys are taking a false equivalence of acceleration and calling it gravity. Okay, you are saying because of gravity we got this acceleration, but I'm going to show you now it's not because of gravity, it's because of the displacement ratio, and I'm going to show it to you why that is the case. So,
but the displacement happens because you can't have two objects occupy the same space.
Right.
There we go. So we got the container here. We got some water. And we got the ball floating there because it's neutrally buoyant now. It's displacing. Now, what happens when I remove the water? What's going to happen with the ball?
It goes down.
It goes down. Now, you guys postulate and say the reason it goes down is because there's no more buoyant force. Because you say there's no, because of gravity. But what was the manipulation there? Did you remove the medium? Or did you just remove gravity?
Yeah, on that specific example, yes, you remove the medium.
Okay, so removing the medium was the manipulated independent variable. And what did we observe? We observed an acceleration of the object.
Yeah, but...
Great.
So that ball is still accelerating down. It's just being held by, because that ball, to float like that, let's say it's a ping pong ball, it's the plastic itself is less dense than the like on a molecular level, and it's filled with air. So if you push the ball, it goes. If you make it dive, it will shoot up. But that's all because of gravity.
Okay. This is the whole point what I'm saying. So you would admit the independent variable was the medium ratio of between the medium and the ball. If I had to make this denser, the ball would go up. If I had to take the medium and take it away, it goes down. So that gives directionality because of displacement ratios.
Yeah.
So this can be physically manipulated. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
We cannot manipulate the mass of the Earth. We cannot remove the Earth.
That's my point. That's my point. So you can't manipulate gravity to make a claim that it's gravity. But scientifically, we can validate manipulating the density ratios can cause acceleration. You get it? So scientifically, we can validate it's only the displacement between the ratios of the densities, not gravity. Now you're saying,
I understand that, but that's why we do the Cavendish sideways.
That's my point. I can show Cavendish not doing anything. We can show Cavendish going the opposite way. And we got actual professors saying they got frustrated that they can't get the Cavendish to work, and it gives inconsistent results. Also,
I've never
Cavendish
seen any of that.
never measured the acceleration. That was people claiming that by default he did it because of their belief in gravity. What was he doing? He was trying to calculate the density of the Earth, not measure gravity.
I'm not familiar with that, and it makes sense that he wasn't able to get Cavendish. It's a really old experiment, but it's one that is repeated constantly in many ways And the one I'm most familiar with and that I like the most is the latest one, that it was with tiny, tiny masses of gold, and that attractive force was still there, and the whole thing, it's all grounded. So in order to avoid any
But it was
magnetism or
inconsistent. Craig didn't let you know that that was inconsistent. They didn't give the same results.
that one, the one with the tiny masses of gold.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get this information from him, so but from
Okay,
what
you
I
can look
read,
it up. It was actually inconsistent. It didn't give exactly the same consistent results. You would agree if it's science, it would have to be a consistent, repeatable result.
yeah, but I've gone through all of that, and I didn't see any inconsistencies. I'm not sure what you mean. If you want to pull it up, we can take a look at it. But as far as I know, that we get consistent results when the experiment is done properly. And it's been done inside Faraday cages, even, and you still get the same result.
Here's the thing. Now, they're not consistent results. As we've seen before, it doesn't work. I myself had a physics teacher in high school that he was pulling his damn hair out because he couldn't understand why he couldn't get the dang thing to work when it worked for the semester before when he was demonstrating it. And this is the biggest thing. What they do is they claim, oh, well, it didn't work. It wasn't consistent. That's because it wasn't set up correctly. So basically, when it does what you want it to do, it's set up correctly. But if it doesn't, then somehow it's not set up correctly. It's really not that complicated of a thing to set up. I mean, come on.
No, if it's set up correctly, then you get the results. And if it's not set up correctly, then you get but that happens with any experiment. If you don't set up correctly,
how do you set it up incorrectly?
Whatever.
How do you set it up incorrectly?
Maybe you don't set the grounding right. You don't. There's tons of ways you can screw any experiment up. What I'm interested in is this idea that the Cavendish is not an experiment, and I would maybe ask you if you can give me the justification why that would be the case, because so far I don't see that.
Flatzoid, do you want to take that?
Sorry, what do you say? I'm just trying to quickly get something on screen quickly. Yeah? What do you say?
He said, how is the Cavendish not an experiment? First off, it's an observation.
Because you don't have a viable independent variable.
Well, you have two. You can change the distance and you can change the masses.
And you don't have you step in step one as well. If you understand the scientific method, the first step is always observe a natural phenomena. You don't observe a natural phenomenon of mass attracting mass to be able to make this assertion, first of all. Just want to say, Super Chat, thank you very much. $5 Super Chat from Roger. He says, to quote Eric, it pushes and pulls it, don't follow rules. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the Super Chat, man. But yeah, can you show us where in reality we observe masses attracting mass? That would be the first step.
You also
dropped something.
You also had two IVs there. You said you could change the size of the masses, or you could change the distance. So which one's the IV? Is it the mass or is it the distance?
It's both. You change them. You never change them both at a time. You change one at a time, and you can change the distance or the mass. That's how you can.
And it gives the same result.
Yeah, you can get them validated independently.
But that's my point. But that's my point. So not gravity. Manipulation is mass. So mass caused acceleration. Manipulation was distance. So distance caused acceleration. That's not gravity.
No, the distance, what changes in the Cavendish, what changes with the distance is the amount of attraction you get. When you increase the masses, you change also the amount of attraction, but in a different way. Because gravity, as you go up, gravity becomes less strong. The same way that when you have a magnet, you have the net attraction of the magnet. And it's let's say I have a magnet in a hand, a nail, and I don't get attraction at all. And then as I start moving it near, I get more and more attraction until I can just let it go and it will stick to the magnet.
No, we understand what you're saying, but we're trying to explain to you why it's not an experiment. Because you don't have a singular IV. You don't have an observation of mass attracting mass. Things fall. That's not gravity. And also stating, remember you said it's always consistent. Can I quickly show you something where this is a professor literally moaning about the Cavendish, which is always inconsistent, and how frustrated they get because it's inconsistent.
Okay.
He lived in Clapham Common, which is place. Otherwise, he would have to ask the book back, and he didn't want to talk to them. So his library was 4 miles away.
Yeah.
At the back of it, he had a big garden shed, which might seem like the size of my.
Just want to get away.
Suspended from the ceiling. Only this is not to scale. This is, I mean, lead ball objects due to gravity. In other words, there's a gravitational attraction between you and me, or between me and this lead ball. So he had to be a long way away to look at the experiment, otherwise he'd interfere with it. So he had an aperture, a place where you look through, he put a telescope out there, through inside there. This experiment really is very difficult to get to work, and a technician has sawed it apart because he got so frustrated. And then right in the middle there's a bit of sawed it apart. So this experiment really is very difficult to get to work, and
this experiment is very difficult to get to work.
Yeah.
And it's to sort off because he got so frustrated.
Doesn't that little box have some mass to it itself? I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
That's why the experiment is so hard to get it to work.
So then it's not science, because science is repeatable.
Yeah, but there's nothing in there that says that it has to be easy to repeat. You just have to follow the same protocol and the same.
That's the same protocol, is it not?
Yeah, but
and it's not giving the same results.
Yeah, but you need to look at the whole experiment and as a whole, and then you also have some electromagnetic forces at play, which you can reduce that if you use something like lead. And but repeatable doesn't mean that it has to be easy to repeat. You just have to put the protocol, do the same thing.
Okay, I'm just gonna say thank you, November, for your super chat. He says, how arrogant do you have to be to believe that everyone that gets different results is incapable of doing your stupid experiment correctly? That's my thoughts too.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Which is more logical to deduce? Everybody gets it wrong because they're stupid, or it's wrong because it doesn't work?
No, I don't think that's a fair assessment.
I can show you actual video where people did it for months and it gave different results. It goes in different directions. It just goes erratic all of a sudden for no reason. It just stops everything. They put the mass in and moves away from the mass.
I haven't seen that, but
I've actually shown it on my stream many times. But the point I'm trying to get, because this is not actually a debate, I'm just trying to get it through to you to show that you guys are postulating something falling by saying that's gravity, when that's not. It's acceleration. When you put G, it's an acceleration. What causes that acceleration? We manipulate the independent variable, which be the displacement ratios. This is scientific. What you can't manipulate to say it's gravity is gravity, because what is gravity to be able to manipulate it? That's our whole point. And that's why Cavendish is not an experiment to validate gravity.
Then how would you go designing an experiment to check if gravity is even a thing?
You first have to observe gravity, first of all.
Yeah, we observe it.
What is gravity? Where do we observe gravity?
Again, mass attracting mass. That's exactly what I'm asking you. But that's you can't strawman our position and say it doesn't work. You have to abstract yourself enough to put yourself in that paradigm. So that's what I'm asking you. In the globe paradigm, how would you design an experiment so that we could verify the postulation that mass attracts mass? If the Cavendish isn't a valid experiment for you, what would you do to validate that claim?
You can't. You can't, because it's a myth. It's a myth. Okay, you can't validate a myth. No one has ever observed this myth of mass attracting mass. Okay,
Yeah, you see the
it's an
problem.
assumption. It's a myth, and you can't prove it any more than you can Narnia.
Yeah, the problem is you're trying to reverse the burden onto us. We're not the
No,
ones
no,
claiming to have observed
I'm-
mass attracting mass. I'm just going to read my super chat again. Sorry. Super chat, thank you, £5 from Tony Whitcomb. You rock. He says, I can't even attract the fat bird to me as her mass is massive, and I don't slide to her as I'm a skinny mess. Thank you very much. But yeah, like I said, the first point in any scientific validation is you first have to observe a natural phenomena. And you guys are claiming mass attracting mass.
Mhm.
So where is this observation of mass attracting mass? Then you say something falling.
Yeah.
Something falling is not mass attracting mass. That's something falling. That's an observed phenomena. We can go and manipulate the independent variable, which I've done an experiment on my show. Sleeping Warrior's done an experiment with his egg. You've probably done it in school as well, doing densities. You manipulate the ratio between the medium of the object and the medium of its surroundings, which gives its acceleration. We can physically manipulate this. You guys of gravity can't. You can't say gravity is manipulated because you can't even describe gravity. If you do, based on today's construction, it's only a mathematical construct in the fourth dimension, which is only optical too. It's not even a physical thing.
Right.
No, it would be even under the relativity view of gravity. It's not optical.
It is.
No, why?
It's
Why
not
would it be
appearing.
optical?
It's only appearing to accelerate. It isn't actually accelerating. That's general relativity.
Yeah, but that's depending on the reference frame that you're considering. That doesn't
It's
mean that it's
optical.
optical.
That does mean it's optical. It only appears to move. You know what appear means? This is the same problem I had with Craig. Doesn't know what appear means.
Yeah, I know what appear means,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean like if I'm observing this lighter accelerate towards the floor or towards the table, that's not optical because the object is physically moving.
I agree.
Right.
And that
But
optical
that means it's not
phenomena we
optical.
can, and that physical phenomena, we can actually manipulate the cause for it, which is the density ratios. Now,
No,
when you
again,
want to
you
postulate
keep
it for
making a
gravity,
claim, but I don't think it's justified enough.
But-
Because what I would say is that the difference in densities, or what the globe paradigm would say, that the difference in densities is because of gravity and buoyancy also.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You don't have gravity to make that postulation. You first have to introduce gravity to manipulate it. So if you're claiming gravity is the cause, that's what you have to manipulate to claim that's the cause. We are making the claim it's not gravity, it's the density ratios, which we can go and do
Well-
experiment to validate. You guys can't.
Well, to satisfy that, then we would have to go outside the gravity field of Earth. And there
you're
you could
assuming that-
manipulate.
You're
There you could
assuming a
manipulate.
gravity field, Max. You're assuming a gravity field. Where is this gravity field?
I mean, I don't know enough about field theory. I just use field as like
Theory.
the sphere of influence of gravity around Earth.
There again, that's another assumption. You can use your +4 elfin sword and destroy it. I mean, it's no more validity to it than Dungeons and Dragons. You can have all the statistics of all the different stuff in Dungeons and Dragons, know all the rules, know all the characters. It doesn't make it real.
That's not even a valid analogy. Oh my
Sure
God.
it is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're assuming a gravity field. You're assuming gravity.
But like I said, Max, we're not trying to attack you or anything.
Yeah,
we're just trying to
but
make you understand.
This is a whole paradigm, right? So the mass of Earth generates a gravitational sphere of influence around it. When you get past a certain point, you don't get that gravitational attraction from Earth anymore. So
That's-
if
but
you
But
want
that's our point. That's our point. You don't
I know
have
it's an
validation for
assumption.
that. It's a story. You're just making claims, but you can't validate. That's our point.
Well, I think the gravitational, like we even use gravity in applied, as I mentioned, when we're looking for resources, the gravitometers, they do measure relative gravity, and they go and, oh, the resources are
Attracted
there.
to density deposits. They're attracted to density deposits. Another 10 use. the super chat. The reason you guys think that is because your own self-worth is dependent on how well you regulate the consensus. To question is to question the pseudo value you've built your ego on. Thank you very much for the super chat. I agree.
Yeah,
I think you have to look at it from. I think you have to look at it from another way. There's only two ways you can do it. You see something happen in observed reality, just like we see this accelerator the ground. 100%. You can make a claim with it. That's 100%. The problem comes when you make your hypothesis and your hypothesis doesn't agree with experimentation. Your hypothesis is simply gravity is causing the acceleration. Now, first of all, you have to say what gravity is, where you've observed gravity to do this, because you didn't observe gravity, you observed acceleration, not gravity. Okay?
Well, yeah.
So that's already a misnomer. And because you've accepted now saying, okay, I'm going to say the acceleration is due to gravity, that's great. But where is gravity? How did you manipulate gravity to get the acceleration? When you take Cavendish, gravity is not manipulated. You're manipulating mass and distance. And it's based on torsion dynamics. It's just torque. It's simple physics.
Yeah, but I mean, now the thing is, there's a fallacy which is one of the least known, that is denying known science. So right now what you're doing is that you're denying known science, which is the consensus on that
that's a fallacy. You can't deny science. Science is there to disprove the current science. That's what science is there for. You would agree. So if you've got a hypothesis and it's been validated, it's you to take that hypothesis and experiment to validate it or disprove it. Correct?
Yeah.
So can you show me any validated hypothesis for gravity if there is no independent variable of gravity even manipulated?
Yeah, that's mass attracting mass. But the thing is that it's purposeful that you pose the question like that, because of course we cannot manipulate the mass of Earth. But if we can make an experiment which is analogous and we can manipulate the mass, then yeah, that your objection becomes satisfied that way.
So in other words, just conjecture. It's correlation and not causation.
Well, yeah, it's something analogous. That's why, because we can't.
But I think it's correlation. Then, if it doesn't say it's correlation, not causation, so it's not science; it's pseudoscience.
Sure, if you want to say it that way. I mean, I know I won't be able to change your mind, but I think that I
have science on my side. That's what I'm saying. Because I 100% believe, and I can prove it scientifically, there is no science for gravity.
No. That's what you've been trying to do, but again,
I've done it.
The scientific consensus is that you are wrong on this.
Scientific consensus is not science. That's pseudoscience. If you have an opinion on science, that's pseudoscience.
Did you know at one time, Max, that the scientific consensus was that rats could spontaneously generate out of nothing? And at one time, it was a scientific consensus that if somebody lost consciousness or drowned, you could take billows and blow smoke up their anus, and it would wake them up and bring them back and revive them.
I'm not familiar with the second one, but I'm familiar with the first claim. And it wasn't the scientific consensus. It was the colloquial sense that if you left something there, that we would get spontaneous generation of flies and rats and stuff. But then the scientists came up and said, oh, I'm going to test this. So they left something there to rot, but they put a bell over it. And guess what? The critters didn't appear. So we debunked spontaneous generation of life.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what we're doing with gravity.
The premise, it wasn't scientific. It was just the colloquial knowledge of people.
Right.
And when we applied science to it.
Right,
yeah, but
like mass attracting mass. Like mass attracting mass.
You started saying that the scientific consensus was that spontaneous life generation. That wasn't the case.
Oh, until it was disproven by science, it was. Okay?
No, but
just like mass attracting mass, hold on. It's no different than mass attracting mass. That is no better than a wives' tale. Because
Yeah, I just wanna-
what do you have behind it?
I know you want to think about.
Yeah, I
it's
just want to
fine.
say super chat
can
again
move
from
on.
Roger. Thank you very much. He says, what does gravity do to electricity? Nothing, because gravity is not a force. It can't do anything. Thank you very much. But you see, that's the point. You just actually, without realizing it, you said they debunked it using science. Now, that's exactly what we're doing with the claim of gravity. There's no science for gravity. The premise is not scientific. So when we take actual science and we do actual scientific inquiry, we can find that it was never gravity. This is the whole reason why Newtonian was superseded by Einstein in the first instance, and now even Einstein is starting to get outed with quantum physics.
Yeah, but we still don't have the full working model for the quantum realm. But we still use both. When I was in high school and they were teaching me physics, they use, for simplification, for learning, they use the Newtonian idea of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
And as you learn more and you progress in your education, you start getting to the more advanced stuff. So both models have their place in the world when we're talking about learning.
I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
They have
They're
their
not
place.
both.
But this brings to another point. Just because you have G in an equation, this is why we call Craig Felicia. Just because you have G in an equation, does that make G gravity? Does it make it actual,
No,
or does
of
it
course
just
not.
mean it's a name given for an observed phenomena?
No, yeah, of course. I mean, you're right on that. But on our paradigm, that the use of that G equated to gravity is absolutely justified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, remember
But
the
you're
one's
right. If you
force
look
and the
at it
other's
in
not a force.
isolation, putting the G there in an equation doesn't confirm that that's gravity. But on the other side, the scientists have done their work to justify putting G there and calling it gravity.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just also want to point out that there's a big scientific consensus that says that two men can have a baby. That's, come on.
That is false.
But let me tell you something here about your academics. You guys place an awful lot of unwarranted trust in your academic authorities. I'm going to tell you why. This is the year 2024. We know, at least most people know, that the story about John F. Kennedy being shot by a lone gunman from a warehouse is hogwash. Yet, if you open up any textbook in any American high school and look, it will tell you that a lone gunman shot John F. Kennedy from a warehouse on November 22nd, 1963. This is just one example of it's not education, it's indoctrination. And if people haven't realized that by now, then I don't know if they're ever going to pull their head out. Okay. You have to question that academic authoritative information. You have to attack it full head on. Put the scientific process to work on that. And you'll start seeing that, hey, I need to rethink my paradigm altogether.
I agree with verifying and not just taking things at face value. And I'm not really familiar. I'm not an American, of course, so I'm not really familiar with the whole JFK thing. I don't find that particularly interesting. But yeah, it's fine to validate and verify. But from what I've seen, science has done really well in advancing every aspect of human life. So
none of which had to do with a globe. Or, I mean, here we've had this supposed International Space Station up there flying for what, 30 years, I guess now. And they got these girls up there with their hairspray and everything. And they're floating around and chasing each other in gorilla suits. It's costing an exorbitant amount of money. And can you tell me one benefit to us people here on Earth that has been given to us by this money pit?
well, yeah, there's a lot of things that have come out of NASA in particular, and I don't have a stake in NASA. I don't care because I'm not
Right.
even American. But many things have come out of the space race. There's been innovations in alloys, in new polymers. The innovations are there. I don't think NASA is a
how is that part of space? That's what I'm saying. How is doing all this crap up in space, supposedly, that's costing us billions of dollars a year? Okay. They're chasing each other around in gorilla suits. What benefit has we gotten here on Earth from any of this space stuff? I mean, let's face it, we create new alloys regardless of space or not. We advance technology regardless of space or not. We miniaturize electronics regardless of space or not. So what I'm trying to get at, I see it, what it is just a reaffirmation propaganda tool to keep people in this paradigm, to keep them believing that they're on this spinning, whirling water ball rocketing through the universe, you know? But I don't see...
It's fine that you see it that way, but the thing is that these people get the budget and the time to develop these new alloys and these polymers, and they develop technology. So it's not it's not wasted money. It's things that we get satellites, and there's a bunch of things that we get because of the whole idea of space.
We get that without space. We get all of that without space. We advance our technology all the time. Has nothing to do with space. Okay, I'll give them Velcro. We got Velcro from them. Vacuum toilets, I guess. We got those from them. I don't know when we'd ever have a choice to use them. But, I mean, what I'm getting at is it's just nothing more than propaganda to reaffirm this belief system. And it is a belief system. It requires a belief in physical impossibilities right from Jump Street. Right from Jump Street.
Not really. I mean, on our paradigm, all of these things are perfectly justified.
I mean, like, can you give me an example of they tell me that the sun is supposedly a big, massive hydrogen that now this is what gets you, one of the lightest elements. A massive hydrogen coalesced turned into nuclear fusion. When and ever in history how does a mass of hydrogen form together for any reason whatsoever outside of a container? I mean, that's just ridiculous concept in the first place, much less have some kind of gravity to it that it's going to push in on itself. I mean, pressure requires an external force.
I was going to say, can you see on screen? This is a citation. Cavendish did not determine the gravitational constant.
Okay. This is referring to the original Cavendish, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Cavendish was trying to calculate the density of Earth, not the mass. Because there's a difference between mass and density. And as I said, Roger Ledwell, thank you for your $2 super chat. So electricity overcomes G. Apparently so. Apparently anything can overcome G. But,
electricity itself, I don't know how that interacts. I'm not a physicist. I'm just a guy, a layman. My field of expertise is English and sound. So but you know, magnetism overcomes gravity. But that's because gravity is kind of weak
and selective.
But you see, this comes back down to what we're saying. You guys are making a lot of claims about gravity, but none of that is substantiated by science. I put the link in the chat for you if you want to go through it.
Yes. Thank you so much. I opened it and I'll save it and I'll take a look at it later.
Awesome.
Thank you. That's what I like when people give me material to read. It's always awesome.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to end the show, guys, because it's already 11:30. I've got to get up at 4:30 for exercise and then work.
Yeah, you need to sleep. I've had not a little bit lately.
No. I think I've had maybe 6 hours sleep in the last 3 days.
Yeah. And you're still matched up FTFE.
So, yeah. But Max, I really appreciate you coming on, man. Love to have a conversation with you again. And
Yeah,
I hope we got through to what we're trying to say.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. And
Yeah.
what I like to bring to the table, and I wish that we could get this message out, that we can heavily disagree and things can get even a little bit heated, but it's not necessary to attack other people, to insult them. And
Right.
Today we had a lovely conversation, and we still disagree, but the conversation flowed, and it's important to have this chat, and we even agreed on some stuff like, okay, it's important to verify these claims, not to just take everything at face value, even when we're talking about science. So there's definitely a lot of stuff that we can eventually agree on, and that's that's fine. That's perfectly valuable to have this conversation. Thank you for having me. I had fun.
No, definitely,
Right
man.
on,
And you can come on anytime. You're always welcome.
Sure.
Max,
Thank
I'll
you so
tell you
much.
what. Tonight I'm going to be having Jaron from Jaronism on my show, and we're going to discuss an idea I have to eliminate some of the problems we have in debates. I've got kind of a cool idea, and I came to the idea thinking about CB radios, so it'll be kind of interesting. And we're also going to cover some of this stuff too that was with Flatzoid and Craig the other night.
All right.
Yeah, check it out. 9:35 Eastern time in America,
Okay.
whatever that is, wherever you're at.
I'm in Uruguay.
Okay, so you're what? That would be.
It's
US
1 hour more than Eastern.
Okay, yeah, you're Central time. I have to look. The damn maps changed, man. That meant the freaking continent. I'm looking up here at my Gleasons because now it's like the South America's shifted a shit ways east. It's like, wait a minute, man. What? That's not where that's supposed to be at.
No.
All kinds of crazy stuff on there that I've
I'm looking forward to hearing from Ozan for his debate. So
yeah, I've sent him your email. We'll definitely get in touch and try to set that up, because that's an interesting debate too. So looking forward to that one.
Yep.
So yeah, thanks guys all for coming. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the super chats. Appreciate Max for coming on and you other guys. I'll see you all then tomorrow night for another epic stream. It'll probably be part 2 of this. Matters now, maybe. And then we'll see you guys